So the Popeyes blackened chicken sandwich.
Oh,
like,
okay, yes.
All right, yeah, that
just-
was fucking
alright.
delicious.
Hit record,
Just-
hit record.
it's already recording.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I
yeah.
will not be shamed into putting pickles on my chicken sandwiches if I don't feel like it.
Like,
Lisa.
what
Okay?
is?
And I will
what?
continue to shame you.
I was gonna say I'm
into
on your
putting
side on
pickles
this one,
your
Lisa.
chicken.
Yeah, but at
That's
least
fine
that
that you won't
means-
be. It's fine
Yeah,
that
no.
you won't be shamed into it. That's fine. That's your prerogative. You have every right to that. But that also, I have the right to continue to shame you. regardless.
Yeah, that is entirely fair. You know what though? Just for that though, I will not donate my pickles to you. I will throw them out on purpose.
No.
Oh
That'll be-
man,
Oh,
Like-
that hurts.
And
That
I'll
is
watch
hurtful.
you as I do it.
You just look her
directly
in the
into her
eyes.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
Pickles.
God.
I'm pretty
Drop.
Ooh, wait till you see my my spiteful face. It's pretty good.
Whoa. I
All
don't
right.
I don't know if I want to see that. Damn.
All right,
I
all right,
guess
all
I'm
right,
never
all right.
eating a chicken sandwich with Noel ever again.
All right. So let's start this episode. That's a
No,
great opening.
That was the start.
I know.
No,
That's
I
the
actually-
opening. That's it right there.
I love
We're
that.
on the internet. We're here. You know, the last time that I had a blackened chicken sandwich from Popeyes was when I was with my good friends in Florida. I don't know why I laughed when I said good friends. That sounds insincere, doesn't
Good
it?
friends.
Teehee. Playing a funky little game that got sent to us by our friends at Gameland Games, Tiny Epic Dungeons, and we ate some sandwiches, and we played this game, and that episode of just us playing with our friend Noel, we were all in the same room, I think for the first time,
I
or
think
the
so.
second time?
I just gotta say
technically
that
it was like the fifth time because he kept trying to record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that once we get into the discussion.
Yeah, but that's not Gameland's fault. That's not the game's fault.
Yeah, that's just stories. But yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna get into our horror stories of
It's
technical
not
difficulties.
horror. It's just, you know, life, a lot happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we try to run
Holy
on time.
Miami time, you know? It's
There's a-
Miami time on top of holiday time. Like, no, it just doesn't. Time
Okay.
isn't real in the week between Christmas and New Year's, okay?
Time is
I
a
can't
soup.
be blamed for that.
Okay. Let's have some semblance of a structure with this. So, welcome to Oops All Dragons. We're going to be talking about Tiny Epic Dungeons, slightly sponsored episode this time. Before we get into that, follow us on the socials. We still have a Twitter. You still haven't created that Tumblr, have you, Lisa?
No. Here,
You
I'll do
gotta.
it right now.
Do
I'll
it
right now.
literally right
I'll do it
now.
right now.
Oops All Dragons at everything. Twitter. Twitter's where we're pretty active. YouTube. We might get some of these other ones in here. Instagram, I'm being more active with that. And our Patreon, patreon.com/oopsalldragons. If you're liking what we're doing, if you're liking this impressive, beautiful chicken sandwich talk, float us a couple bucks there.
Yeah, we'll buy more chicken sandwiches with them.
Yeah.
At least I will.
100%.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of that, we actually have a couple patrons to shout out. Let's do that at the end of the video. So we actually reached out to Gameland Games last year, and they actually provided us with their own board game version of essentially like their mini D&D. It's
Ooh, gotta be careful saying that now.
we'll get into that in the next episode.
Look out for the next episode of Oops All Dragons, where we get into the discourse.
Their fantasy role-playing game.
There we
Yeah.
go. Their fantasy role-playing dungeon crawler.
Yeah, if you
Procedurally generated dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
if you don't have time to, put together a whole campaign,
Yeah.
of characters and monsters and encounters and all that, Game One Games has so cleverly put out Tiny Epic Dungeons, which really, even though there's a lot of rules and all this stuff, it is a much more expedited version of a funky little dungeon crawl. And
Yeah.
and while there isn't so much of a narrative structure, it is still a fun game, given the mechanics of it. But we'll get into it.
I was gonna say, let's get into it right now. So, like, I don't know if we'll go into like the mechanics so much here, just because we're gonna put up the videos of us actually playing it. So, like, you guys can see that. You can go on the website. You can look at the rules. You can go on dice.com and you can do like the virtual interactive demo that they have.
And we'll link to that in the description.
Yeah. So, like, I don't think we're gonna get too deep into like us explaining the rules at this stage.
Right.
This is more of our impressions after playing through it a couple times. So
and it really was a couple times.
Yes, it was. It's more times than you all are ever going to be able to see because. Oh boy,
maybe someday we'll put out the corrupted, terrible, cursed footage.
Our destroyed footage. If you couldn't tell, we had at least 2 other attempts at recording us actually playing that were completely scuffed. So we got a lot of experience.
We chalked it up to having a good day with some pals.
Yeah,
and learned how to play the game really, really well. By the third time record, honestly, I feel like we ran through it pretty quickly.
The game we started to play real fast.
Yeah, by the time we got to the recording that you're actually able to watch on youtube.com/HoopsAllDragons, we had a grasp of the rules well enough that we didn't necessarily have to refer to the rules almost at all. And it made the game go a lot faster. It is the kind of thing where the more you play it, the more fun it gets, and the more you can get into like strategizing and coordinating with your party. So
for those who like the tactics aspects of things like D&D or Pathfinder, where you're positioning and you're getting ready to set someone up for another thing, that's this entire game.
Yeah, this is definitely the min-maxers game.
And to be completely honest, something else that I gotta say I did enjoy as an aspect of the game was the fact that it's possible to not even pull the boss's lair within the expected room, right? So you can have a 10 or 15 minute game where you guys go balls to the wall and you're crushing every goblin that comes up, every minion that comes up, but you don't get a boss room and the game is over.
The torch runs out. We're destroying, we're doing great. Oh god, you're out of time.
Yeah. At first, so I want to talk about just what you get in the basic box. Because we got the basic box of the game, and Varun went ahead and also bought the expansion set. But in the basic box, we get character cards and dungeon tiles, enemy cards, obviously a rule book, and you get little figures and figures for the monsters as well, tokens. It's a very tactile game. I love stuff. I love putting things out on a table. It's and all the art's really cool, and
this is a game of stuff, and you can get more stuff.
Yes,
because the core game comes with all these characters, these minion meeples, but then the expansion you can get, I think, double the amount of characters, player characters, a bunch more bosses, and then you can buy the boss meeples, which I really like. They're big and chunky, and they represent all the actual boss characters versus having just a generic one that comes with the game.
Oh, and they look so good.
Yes.
Yeah, I did like those.
I like that the character minis are your traditional mini that you would be used to when you play tabletop games, but then the boss minis are these wooden blocks painted, the enemy minis, the minion minis.
They can put all that detail on it.
Really, I don't know. There's it's the teething 2-year-old inside of me is just really, really pleased by it.
Do not put them in your mouth, Lisa.
Don't put them in your mouth.
They're made of wood.
They are made of wood and painted, much like baby toys are. Anyways, they're colorful and made of wood and painted. Like, I need you to understand that I spent that entire time fighting every urge to put those in my mouth.
Dear God.
I'm a terrible little child, really. But that is to say that it's a very tactile game. It comes with a lot of fun accoutrement, and everything comes with that. Not everything, but everything you would need to play that initial game comes in that first box. And I like that you don't necessarily have to go out of your way to buy the expansion to, have that tactile experience.
Yeah.
It's not just this, flat thing. It has dimension and motion.
Yeah, right out the basic version.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted those boss meeples, so I got that one. That was a good purchase for me.
Honestly, I look forward to the next time you mention anything about needing help to paint some of those other minis as well, because
I was gonna say,
I feel like that's a whole other game.
They're all gonna be painted.
Like, that's a whole other game in and of itself.
That's gonna be season 3 of Oops All Dragons. It's literally just us painting minis while we do our talky things. I think.
If I get a car, I will drive down there and help you paint these minis, and we can record it and put it on the fucking. And we can put it on the Patreon.
Yeah, on the
Patreon.com/oopsalldragons. Please get this.
Hell yeah, there you go. Every time you mention a website, if there's a /oopsalldragons, we gotta add it on there.
Hell yeah. Okay, so it's a board game. It's board building game. It's different every time. You don't know what boss you're going to be fighting. You don't know what baddies you're going to be fighting. Though you only really have control over what character you're playing. I always chose Grakul, the half-orc barbarian, because I always knew what I was going out for at that point. Strength. I need more strength. That's all my stuff. But you guys kind of played around a little bit, and I've played some other games before where I did different roles and everything. But how do you feel about the versatility of the characters? Because some of them seem really to have really specific builds or really specific setups ready, versus other ones seem a lot more open, like the bard one you were playing, Lisa.
Yeah. The bard one is honestly the most versatile one out of what I saw in the deck. Because all the characters have 3 stats, and of those 3 stats, you can have up to 3
dice.
Yeah. So instead of being given a number 1 through 20, you're given 1 dice, 2 dice, or 3 dice, which just means that whenever you need to make a roll with that stat, that means that you get to use 1, 2, or 3, depending on what's on the card. And the bard is given 2 for everything. And it was strength, agility, and intelligence. And then also the bard has the ability to inspire themselves and give themselves an extra d6 on anything. And that's just really... For an indecisive person like me who can't decide what to focus on, that's really just very helpful. Because that means that I could have been making strength rolls with the same ability as the barbarian. Because the max you can have at any point is 3 dice. That was great.
When I should have played that, we'll play another time when we get together. Mm-hmm. This is from the expansions, I think. Zui Shong, the Pandakin Brewmaster, who only has 1 dice in everything, but his ability is intoxication, so he drinks, loses a heart, and gains 2 dice in everything, I think. So he's kind of He's kind of the double-edged sword version of Nilly the Bard, where she can spend focus to give herself more dice. He spends health and gets drunk and gives himself power in everything.
Yeah, it gives big sacrificial tank vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I think at first I played Uliasa. Yeah.
The cleric.
Yeah. Badass cleric. I think the utility for that character was pretty cool. They had the heal and the ability to research to look for a spell by using some focus. The heal was clutch. there were a couple times where healing became like the most important gameplay loop.
Yes.
Just to keep us just to keep us going. Well, I feel like at one point we were down to the wire, and we had
Each of us had like 2 health.
yeah, Lisa was giving us more torches, raising that torch level.
Yeah.
You were healing, and I was damage dealing, and that was it. That's all we could do.
So it's crazy because it's a tabletop card game, board builder, but it's it's kind of grindy. It like if you get backed into a corner, like you sometimes have to resort to these tactics that like these cheesy tactics.
Which you don't feel too bad about, because like
No, not at all.
it's not like it's D&D where you're trying to like play a role or tell a story. Like ostensibly there's a story of like you're in the Goblin Coast and you're trying to defeat the boss, and that's it. And however you do that, the game doesn't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do appreciate that they did put the time in to, if you, I think it's on their website, or it's on the, oh god, Vern, where is it that they have the character?
The bios.
The character bios, yeah.
I know they have them in like the book itself, but where are the recorded ones though? Is it on?
Yeah,
the
I
game
found
site?
it on the website. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the
Yeah,
game
so
website itself.
like all of the characters
Have their own lore.
have
It
their
directs
own,
you
like,
to a Google
lore.
Drive
I
with just
love
a whole
that.
bunch of voice files. I mean, I love it so much.
Yeah, so
I-
it's like they put thought into it, and like you could, put that kind of
You could play some role in this
Yeah.
board game as well.
But
Like if you
it's-
play Shadows over Camelot, same kind of thing. Like you're supposed to act like a knight when you're playing that game.
Yeah, and is it Betrayal on the House on the Hill
Mm-hmm.
as well? That's like a similar game where you're building out this location
Yeah.
as you're moving through it, and triggering things to happen and all that. I like that, and I guess we can start getting into like our things we like, things we don't like about it. I really like that once you like can get to the boss, I like that it presents it as a 2-act structure.
Mm-hmm.
That tickles me, and it also I like that it resets that timer, the torch timer for
We
you.
go into hard mode.
Yeah, that makes life a little bit easier. That the torch gets reset because maybe you're down to the last wire
Mhm.
once you actually trigger Act 2.
Yeah.
And that is certainly a way to play it. And I think that is one of the times that we played it, it came out that way. Where it's like we were down to like, we had 2 or 3
Yeah.
rounds left before hitting.
I think we were literally on like the very last round of like the first act, so we had to flip it over to get the boss out. Otherwise we would have just lost.
Yeah.
So like those are the sort of things you have to think about of like, we could get stronger, but the more time we spend finding loot and getting prepared and whatever,
Mhm.
time ticks down, and if we, something happens that
Yeah.
makes us lose that one extra space on the torch, we automatically lose, regardless of how strong we are.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I like is that there are all of these like, there's a handful of moving parts to it. It's not just like you're doing this single thing the whole time, or there's only one thing to think about the whole time. It's you have to consider a couple of things as you take your turn and as you do your actions and your movements and all that. I really like that it's a game that really requires you to be engaged.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I've at least had the pleasure, of everyone I've played it with is some sort of RPG nerd. So once they get their heads around the rules, they get engaged, and they stick with it. And and depending on who I'm playing with, they'll actually role play out their character. So so that's also fun. But yeah, it's definitely a game that you've got to like pay attention to. Like you have to pay attention to what you're doing, what the team is doing, what's going on with the game, because the game is always trying to kill us, and you have to work together. I do like that it's a straight up co-op game. I do like that. And then my other like pro of stuff that's like just in the box. There's lots of loot and spells and all that stuff. My favorite stuff is like the legendary armor, the legendary equipment. Getting that stuff, because then you're always collecting more loot, but that gives you that specialization. It can make characters who wouldn't be good at a certain thing, now they're good at that certain thing, because I did, barbarian, but I gave him all the panther stuff, so now he's good at ranged and all that. But also, like, it's if you're already good at that stuff, you're now the best in the game at that thing.
Yeah, it's a really cool way to optimize or to pick a way to maximize bonuses surrounding a certain playstyle. I am a big fan of sets, like armor sets in games. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a fun way to reward players for having to find equipment to protect them. Why not let them have fun with the equipment that they get? Something else that I had a lot of fun with was the spells. Like there was a pretty big range of spells, and it felt like while some of them had negatives if you failed, it felt relatively balanced. I can say though that invisibility was crazy. It's fantastic, right? You can use any skill to activate it, and you get another
you just get
action.
stealth and you get another action. Yeah,
crazy. Yeah, you don't have to worry about any goblins in a room blocking your way. You can just move right on by. Let somebody else deal with that problem.
Yeah,
and
my lament for the two games that everyone can see is that when we were playing, I don't think any of us were able to actually finish a set of the armor, and the ones that we got were all just like not suited for the people that we were playing. So by the end of the game, we were kind of mismatched for all of our stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty piecemeal. I feel like we did what we could. We
did our best.
Scrubbed around.
Yeah. I like that Viper armor from the expansion. It's so good. I got the two pieces at the beginning, couldn't really do anything with them, and then the pieces that would be really useful, all the way toward the bottom of the deck.
Yeah, which we found out after breaking down the game, of course.
We took a look at it, but
because I don't know.
That's the other thing.
The
risk and reward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at a certain point, you just got to be like, okay, I have to make a decision. Am I going to hold out for the really good stuff that I'm looking for? Or do I just take this also good stuff, but it's not exactly what I wanted or not exactly tailored to my character?
I feel like that's another kind of cool thing about the way that the opportunities on the field were, where you could, in some places you could get new equipment or new spells. But in other places, you could just scrounge up a discarded piece of equipment or a discarded spell. So it actually gave you the opportunity. It's not lost forever if somebody drops something off. While there's no trading necessarily, that's usually the best way for you to be able to pick
Part of me
up.
wishes there was like a trading mechanic, but also like I get it, and like if there was, it would make things kind of too easy at that point.
Yeah. You just meet up in one spot.
Yeah.
To swap clothes.
Everyone just, swaps everything. Okay, we're all decked out with our best stuff. Boom, let's hit it. Like, that kind of defeats the purpose. That takes away that edge of like, ooh, are we actually going to make it or not?
Yeah.
All right. Lots of pros, good quality on the game. I'm absolutely going to post up those painted minis once I'm done with those. Any cons? I think. Well, let's list the cons, I don't know if we have too many, but I think the one that is shared for all three of us is there is a bit of a learning curve with the rules.
Yes.
It's similar to learning D&D or Pathfinder or any of these kind of systems. It's not as complex, but it's almost as complex.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that the online...
The dice tutorial?
Yeah, the dice tutorial very much helps.
That did,
Very much expedites the process. I think it's mostly just the fact that, like, because there's a lot that has to be communicated on the cards, essentially you have to learn the hieroglyphic language that the cards are written in.
Or in our case, just finally break down and print out the actual, spelled out appendices from the Gamelin website, which at least for me I think is a better way to go, especially if you're taking folks and getting them together to take the time and play this game. Just get the actual like printed out descriptions of each of the cards so everyone's super clear on what they actually do so that you're playing correctly. That's another con, which I don't know if there's anything they could really do about that. For just the symbols, some of them are pretty simple, but then some of the other cards can get really complicated, especially in the expansion, where it's like, yeah, you do this and you have this chain effect that does this and it works with this other thing that you got, but like spelling all that out in words also on the card, I don't know if that would be the best way to do it either. So like, it's a learning curve. That's my con of just like, I like this stuff. It's just like it takes a couple tries to you gotta do the tutorial, play with some people, everyone gets it under their belt, and then once you do, like you're gonna see with us, you just get super fast at playing the game. Everyone just knows what to do every single turn.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. On the back of the hero cards, isn't there also there's another
also a reference.
There's a reference. So I actually
double up.
Yeah, you can
I
just
think
take
it's a good
card
tip,
that
yeah.
isn't your card that isn't being used and use that. I definitely did that for our recorded game. Although that reference I realized is not complete. There's a couple of
It doesn't
symbols
have
that
the
show
stuff
up.
from the expansion.
Well, not only that, but like the symbols that explain like the range of certain things, or like whether things can go around corners and stuff. I don't recall it having
It does.
that. It does?
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
Never mind then.
Yeah, it has all the symbols and stuff in there, but it's like interpreting them because some of the effects are this happens every time you do a certain action. This happens if you do a certain action, or as an or statement, so you can do this or this. So it's like, yeah, knowing how to interpret all that stuff. It's not the symbols per se were an issue. It's just how do I read this? How do I actually like read this?
Yeah.
Basically, you got to learn a new language real quick. just a few symbols though, right? Like it's not like having to learn a full 26 character, 26 symbol, and then you
learn
put those
the grammar,
together for words.
learn all of that.
There's like 8 to 12 symbols. And once you figure it out, you got it.
Or like I said, just print out the appendices or just get it up on your phone and just have it spelled out in plain English.
That too.
That was my con. Just, learning curve. It's like for fantasy nerds, I think any sort of fantasy or tabletop nerd, they'll be okay with the learning curve. For someone who's a bit more of a normie, I think it might be a 50-50 situation. If they really like board games, they might be into it. If not, this is not per se like a starter board game.
Yeah, I'm going to try it. I want to see if my sister would try it.
Yeah.
Just
all right.
Watch her struggle through it. It'll be great. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, try to get a normie in there. Any other cons?
No, the complaints I have with it are like dumb things like I didn't roll well.
I mean, sure. My complaint is, I didn't get the armor I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
my complaint is I want to do more cool things. Thanks.
We'll play a game where just all of us plays like 2 characters or something. Just like go crazy with it.
Yeah.
Well, isn't the max 4?
Yeah, I know. We're just gonna break the game at that point.
We can homebrew it. Yeah. Instead of doing a 7x7, we bring it up to a 9x9.
We just play all the game cards because
Oh
I have
my
a bunch of
God.
extra rooms now.
Yeah. I like the different challenges that the rooms present. Like I like the trap rooms, but I like the random sleeping goblin room. That one's I think my favorite. Because it's just so like, yeah, you have all these traps, you have the goblin rooms, and you have like these rooms that you could do certain things. And the purpose of this room is, can you be sneaky?
It's a trap that isn't mechanically a trap,
Right.
because every time you go into a trap room, you have to immediately save against the trap, or otherwise you get hurt. But this room is, can you sneak? And if you sneak, great, nothing happens. But if you can't, you immediately get an extra goblin just attacking you all of a sudden.
Yeah.
There's a trap.
It's great. It's fun. I like the variety of the big bosses.
Mm-hmm.
The one that we ended up getting in the recording, was that the Lich? Was that when we got the
I
Lich?
think so. I think we
No,
had the Mind Lasher for one, and then I think we had
Yeah.
the Lich for another. Or no, we had the Seer and the Lich.
Yes, I think the first time we played, we had the Seer.
Yeah.
The second time we played, we didn't make it to the boss.
Yeah, that was our...
But it was the dragon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
we-
supposed to be.
we looked
should
at it,
have
it was
been the
supposed to be
dragon,
dragon.
but we
We never even
I
got
think-
to him. Our
yeah,
torch
I think
ran
either
out.
the torch ran out. Yeah, the torch ran out, and then yeah, if you watch what we've recorded, we fight the Lich, and good God, it's like pretty unforgiving.
The bosses are hard, man.
Yes, it's not like when you
If you're
when
not
you-
ready.
Yeah, when you finish, by the time you like manage to like take the boss, it does not feel handed to you. It feels like you put in some work.
Yeah, you like we found out you actually do want to fight the boss in his lair if you're able to get on those good spots, because then it gives you a bunch of really good bonuses. So that, yeah, the Lich can't just immediately start draining all of our focus and then we're just stuck.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. It's oof. Like that's it's
Man.
I'll compare this game's difficulty to essentially like Pandemic. Like it kind of depends on how the cards go and how your rolls go, but the game is out to get you. And if you're not ready by the end, you're just gonna die.
Yeah. And like the thing is that we had to make that decision of like, nope, we can't keep trying to get better armor, even though like we know that we could like get better equipment.
Even though I had that turn where I rolled just 6 sixes
Yes.
in a row to just get all that stuff, but you couldn't do it. Like you don't have my luck. Like you can't just jump on and do the barbarian thing. Like no.
Yeah. No.
He said, try as you might, but you can't be me, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just went nuts. I did the rolls. I succeeded. It was pure luck.
Yeah.
And then you tried to do the same thing and it killed us.
Yeah.
Because every time we fail, we lose another torch. And
Yeah.
ooh.
That was wild.
I did a lot of sleep in that game. I slept a lot for the team, though.
No, and that's the thing. Another thing that I like is that, like, because of the certain items in certain rooms, like, you don't necessarily have to have a healer on the team, and because everybody can rest on their turn. You don't necessarily have to have
Bed
somebody
rolls.
playing like a cleric. The bed rolls are so clutch. Maybe the best item in the game. I don't know. Like literally have one person whose task is just to sleep every round and heal everybody up.
And heal and recharge
Yeah.
everyone a little bit. Yeah.
That goes crazy. It's so good. I mean,
Stack-
we got
Stack
to
the
a point
bed
where we
rolls
just had,
with the scarab thing that also like
Yes.
bumps you up when you rest, so you're basically full focus, get an extra spell, healing everyone else. That's an awesome combo.
yes.
So- Just to be extra excited about it, the little combo that we ended up doing was I was using, I think it was Thornton Firebraid.
Yeah.
This game, and they have a free action that they can kill
Shield bash, right?
Yeah, shield bash, that they can kill one goblin in the same square as them. So essentially, if any goblin would appear, I could just walk over, kill it for all the focus that that it required, which was all 5 of the character's focus. But then I could rest as my main action for the turn, and then gain back,
Get it all back.
any health that I lost, all of my focus, and then anybody else within 2 rooms of me, also regain some health and focus.
Yeah, that bedroll scarab armor combo, or the orbs of the scarab, whichever one it was, just clutch.
I think that the equipment is cleverly designed. Again, I have to compliment the art again. I'm a very visual person in that, and it was all just very satisfying to look at. And I love that, like, you see the person across the table from you get an item that would complete or like combine with something that you have, so you're just like strategizing on it. Like, oh no, drop that because I'll pick it up the next turn I can. Blah blah blah. Like,
exactly. Like,
everybody's looking
this
across
is good,
the room,
but like, it's better for you.
Yeah, the legendary equipment. It's a really, I just really enjoy that mechanic, because then it gives you a reason to keep going back for equipment, and it gives you that, like, it gives you something to be like, oh no, to sort of hem and haw about, and to make a choice about, of like, oh no, are we going to like move on to Act 2 and start trying to fight the big bad, or are we going to keep trying to find armor? I like that it presents you with this quandary, this dilemma that you have to like weigh out and resolve. It forces you to work as a team.
And I was gonna say teamwork. Like, it basically like forces that teamwork to say, like, I picked up the piece of armor that's gonna be good for you. Yeah, let me drop it. Like, it's not gonna help me, but it's gonna help us as a group. Yeah, let's work. We have to work together.
Yeah.
I do also like the torch mechanic. I like that there's a timer. I like that not only there's a timer that allows player agency, but it also encourages action. Because there are different things at different stages. But it also changes depending on how many players you're playing with. So you can budget for a quick game or a longer game. I think it's great, right? Like, it was a decent tempo. It didn't feel like new enemies were coming in too often. It felt like, although, except for when we were having a tough time finding like good rooms to travel through, it did feel like we were treading water with a lot of enemies pulling up.
Yeah, I think that was the first playthrough we did together where like we just could not find any of the minion rooms, and that is not a fault of the game. That is a fault of chance. That like we literally just didn't flip those card rooms over at any point.
And it's funny because I remember the game ending, and we chose 3 rooms at random, and they were the rooms.
Yeah, that was fun. That was nice. Enjoyed that.
On the actual video recordings you guys are gonna see, not a lot of we're probably gonna put this up after those go up, so not a lot of happy endings if you haven't seen them yet, but on the games we played before, which you're never gonna see because the recordings were screwed, we actually did win. We actually got to the end, got to the boss, we lured them into the proper rooms, worked as a team. It was great. You'll never see it.
Yeah, that was with the Seer, right? That was the first game?
I think so. Yeah. We're not lying. I would not lie about this awful thing that's happened to us. But yeah, when your team actually does gel together and you're able to find the boss and actually slay them, awesome feeling.
Yeah, you're not lying, but you are being dramatic.
It was dramatic. It was good.
I mean, yeah, no, after a certain point, you do get like, I don't know. if you have the whimsy and the childlike wonder to get sucked in and invested, and if your competitive nature is strong enough, yeah, you get to a point in this game where you're like, no, we have to keep going. We have to win. We have to make it work. We have to figure out, you weasel your way through it.
Yeah.
I definitely got invested.
Yeah. Like, I am competitive. Hell yeah. This hit all the boxes for me. We just played the standard game. I do have the expansions for the potions and the stories expansion, but we didn't use the potions, and we didn't do the story part where there's like essentially 2 bosses. Yeah, there's like a whole other floor. There's a second boss you have to fight, and there's like more narrative reasons for different objectives that you have to accomplish. So it adds a whole another layer of complexity to the game, but just for the sake of the recording, we didn't do that this time.
Oh,
Damn.
wow. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
I didn't want to pose it to you guys because you might have said yes, and we would have had like a 3-hour long recording.
Well, we could have did that off of the recording, so we know what it's like. I feel like I was robbed of an opportunity.
Next time, or we can do it online. Like I can just set it up on my table here, everything, and then we can all just play it virtually.
Yeah.
Mayhaps.
I guess
Mayhaps indeed.
It's not the same.
I know you can't look at each other while we're doing it, but like, it's a pretty good game.
Dido starts playing in the background.
Yeah. Even just if we had just decided to pick this up and play this together, if this hadn't been something that was sent to us, like this is still something that I would recommend people to play if they don't want to like, put all of the time and effort that it takes to do a whole like tabletop role playing game. Because I get it, that shit's so it's an investment. It's such an investment. Yeah, this is a fun little thing. Like, I would be the annoying person to pull this out at a party. My friends would be mad at me, and I know that half of them would, like, not... Like, I would explain the rules, it would go through one ear and out the other, and I don't care. I would force them to play it, and by the end of it, they will have had fun. Because it's a fun game. It's a fun game.
Yeah. It is a fun game. It's a fantasy nerds, I think, like, perfect board game. And yeah, even though there is a bit of a learning curve, like once you get it, like you get it, and you just want to keep playing and keep trying different characters and fighting different bosses and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I honestly cannot wait to play again and use a different character. Actually, that's right. There's a single player mode for this where you just grab.
If you guys want to practice, yeah,
man. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. Where's my copy? I was actually looking for it before we started recording, so I could have the
Thanks, Gabe. Thanks for sponsoring us.
Yeah, honestly.
Where's Noel's copy? He has no idea.
It's here somewhere. I just have a messy room. You know what they say about creatives, man. We don't have clean rooms.
Speak for yourself.
Hey, my room is generally neat looking. It's just the areas that are messy have all my stuff.
All right. So I think we said everything that we're going to say about Tiny Epic Dungeons. Lots of pros. One kind of medium size, I'd say, con, but like once you get over that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same con that all of this type of game has.
Sure.
Which is that the rules are a little convoluted, but once you play it a couple times, you get it.
Yeah. Like we mentioned, Betrayal, Shadows over Camelot, all this stuff also have kind of like weird, wacky rules that take a while to get, but once you get it, yeah, you just get in there and you're like, okay, yeah, I know what to do.
Yeah, like coup. Stop trying to explain coup to me. I understand that it's a simple game. It's just not simple to me. Thank you very much. Same with Munchkin. I was
gonna say Munchkin was the other one.
Munchkin's the other one where I'm
Munchkin
like,
seems deceptively simple until you realize you could just like cheat and like screw over people, and that's most of the game.
in college, I used to like hang out with one friend who like we'd go into like the cafeteria that like I literally did not learn that my college had until like I was in my last semester.
Oh, damn.
And in my last semester, we would go and like I'd sit with him and his friends and play like Coup or Munchkin or like other like little card games like that. And yeah, I definitely I was the person who was like nodding like as if I understood. I did not understand.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my.
And I played several games of Coup and Munchkin. And I'm like, yeah, no, I totally get it. Wow, so fun. If you ask me a single thing about either of those games, I would not be able to tell you. No, let's not plug other games on our.
This has been fantastic. Gamelin.
But
next time.
Maybe in the future, we'll play other games. Gamelin has other games as well. Other Tiny Epic games.
Tiny Epic Galaxies is a one that I had many years ago before we ever reached out to them or anything. And
there's Tiny Epic Quest as well.
Tiny Epic Tactics.
And Tiny Epic Pirates.
Tiny Epic Zombies. I mentioned Galaxies because I did get that one, and I would absolutely recommend it. Like, it's such it's another really simple. It's even simpler than this game. It's all like cards. There's no real board per se, but it's all a lot of politicking essentially because you're all controlling essentially a galactic civilization, and you're trying to have the best civilization, the most points for your civilization to win. And how you do that is either economically or like politically, and like it sounds complicated, but really it's just kind of some dice rolling and stuff, and say, yeah, I follow. It's incredibly simple, but also incredibly fun.
And hey, they actually have Gamelin Games has a Kickstarter running right now for a new game called Tiny Epic Crimes, a murder mystery. So yeah, go check out Kickstarter.
That is the one thing with Gamelin. Once they're done with one game, they're on to the next one.
Yeah, which I love. There's like
they've always got a new one coming out.
There's so many Tiny Epic types of stories that you can
there is a Tiny Epic Mechas one, which I have my eye on. I want to see what that one's about.
But yeah, I think that does it for this one. Thank you, Gamelin, for letting us play your game and talk about it. Like, had a great time with my friends.
Yeah, if you want to send us some copies of like Tiny Epic Tactics that we could also look at, that'd be nice too. First for the podcast here, actually shouting out our Patreon subscribers. This is our first cycle after our last set of ones went live. So friend of the show, Marilyn, thank you for
thank you.
And also Philip Emerson. I guess we'll put up a screen with their names. But yeah, thank you for being our first patrons, and you are the rockin' the best, the reason we do this.
The cream of the crop. Did you know?
The cream of the crop, going all the way to the top.
I don't know if you guys
too sweet to be sour.
I don't know if you guys read the market research, but they said that Uppsala Dragons subscribers and people that are on our patrons on Patreon are statistically 67% cuter than all other people.
It's true.
Let's get that up to 69%.
Heyo,
yeah,
nice.
You know what? Yeah.
But
so in closing, the Popeyes blackened chicken sandwich is the best chicken sandwich in the world. We're doing that one for free, Popeyes. The next one, you're paying us for.
It's gonna cost you.
Oh, if we get sponsored by Popeyes.
You would.
Honestly, I would actually, yes, I would, because I would eat a sandwich before every episode I edit. I wouldn't even be on the episode that you guys record. I would just be like, oh, it's time to edit this episode. Exactly. And on purpose, I would cut up editing the episode into 4 or 5 sessions so I could have 4 or 5 of those chicken sandwiches.
Pay us in sandwiches.
Food's expensive. Yeah, pay us in sandwiches.
Yo, yes. I'm okay with this. I will forego cash for food.
Yeah,
They
a sandwich
just
is
as
worth
expensive.
way more than the $10. You know, like
Yeah, that I was gonna spend on it anyway. Let's be honest.
We've been Oops All Dragons. I've been Lisa. That's been Varun. That's been Noel.
Thank you for listening. I don't think we've
Thank
ever actually
you.
thanked the listeners for listening.
They know.
Thanks
we're
for listening.
grateful.
Wait, hold on. You said I've been Noel? Who am I now?
Oops All Dragons is a group effort. Our show is edited by Noel Hernandez. Our theme was composed by Brendan Lyons, and our logo art is by Azif On Q. Links to more of their work and their social media will be in the show notes. Find us on YouTube and Spotify, and check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Oops All Dragons.